Welcome back, my friends, to the final day of the Changelings campaign. Quite possibly the final episode of Pathologic, full stop.
Tripwires of fate. I had to elaborate upon the logic of imminence since I've discovered it myself.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting you to trauma dump on me quite so hard there. I bow to thee, Mistress of our Earth. Do you have any parting words for me? You're an observer of people, so what do your calculations indicate? Wait, give yourself a moment's pause. Are you sure you want to know what my research has yielded? You see, whether or not you take my calculations seriously, the moment you learn the results you will have no choice but to act them out. This is merely my way of seeing the matter through. So, what do you say? Would you like to set off this tripwire of mine? I do. It won't do me any harm, in my humble opinion. You remain an indefinite value, and as such you have walked the road that lies behind you. Your refusal to be categorized was your strongest weapon. However, this advantage will be stripped from you as soon as you permeate into a constant. And frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens before the day is over. What kind of value will you become? That's the only actual choice you have. I do like Yulia, though. I think she's a really interesting character, so I'm going to say the dumb thing instead. I'm not Constance. I'm Clara. This is of no importance. Don't try to translate your perplexity into a language that is legible to us. Cease this wordplay of yours. Didn't you see everyone disappear? You won't see anything but raw vectors now, lines along which your effort may be applied. Well, really. Why did our paths cross, Yulia? Why are you one of the criminals and the wicked? I don't qualify as wicked, but you can call me a criminal, in a way. Just don't conflate the two. You see, I'm of the opinion that it was your duty to end us. Didn't I tell you? There are no people anymore. Symbols is all we have left. We all represent opportunities that you have missed. The 9 ways to get swallowed by the deathly quagmire. What? You should be grateful to me for having replaced you. Otherwise, it would have been you and not me to rot in this desolate place I'm consigned to. You would have been left hanging by your strings. I'd have been glad to trade places with you, but I wasn't given the choice. Oh, but you were. Let me remind you how intrinsically evil people are. The very nature of you is evil. You were given exactly as much choice as was necessary for you to affirm your malevolent selfhood. It's not too late yet. Let go of yourself and you will fall even lower than I have fallen, lower than any of us, the 9 sinners from which you will pick the righteous 7. I see what you're getting at. Interesting. Didn't really understand much of that, but she is the smart one of the town. I'm sure whatever she was getting at was very important. So we do have a theatre performance to watch. We do have some rounds to make as well. Presumably everyone is fine, but we can spin around and have a little chat with them if we so desire. We've selected our righteous 7 already, so anything else we do at this point is just time killing, really. But I think we will just do a full lap of the town. Trying to think. Should probably go to Lara now. I don't think I'm going to get a great opportunity to do so if I go the way I'm planning. I'm very interested what she has to say. I don't know if we're going to have an opportunity to ask each of them why exactly they're wicked and criminal or whatever. Because I'm really intrigued by how Lara ended up on that list, I really am.
It is not so dangerous to do wrong to most men as to do them too much good.
I bow to thee, Mistress of the Earth. What's on your mind, Lara? Oh, nothing really. Tell me, how much life-giving blood will you be able to make from me? How many doses will it be? I didn't ask you to sacrifice yourself. What the hell? No less than 150, I believe, and according to Rubin, anything up to 500. Oh, well, that's a lot. Even in a lifetime of restless and relentless activity, I could never have saved or created that many people. Lara, why you two? How did you of all people end up becoming among the wicked? Self-sacrifice is something one must go about competently, and I was incompetent. Well, that's just nonsense. Simon failed too, and that's why you're making the decisions and not him. Or are you him now? Are you raving? No one is more similar than you and Simon. Even we the bound are mere playthings, while you are humans with a capital H, such as I could never have given birth to even if I had got married. Did you want to? Sort of. Not really, but I often think about it at night. No point in hiding my sins anymore, but that was all a pipe dream. Go ahead, do what you must. Poor thing, I'm so sorry for you. I wouldn't want to carry your burden. Terrifying to bear, yet it would be wrong to refuse it. Please, that's no sin at all. You deserve solace. Yeah, so apparently she's one of the wicked because she didn't help people competently enough. I don't know. I don't know. It's a very vague concept of who is and who isn't, but not for me to judge, I suppose. I'm sure the game writers knew what they were talking about. I'm just thinking, I've got, I believe it was 6 Schmauder left, right? Maybe 5 now, I think I did spend 1, didn't I? That should be enough to help anyone who's still sick, but if not, I may have to wind back to the previous day. We'll see how it goes.
Cheats play with our free will.
You and I cannot lose. The two will be joined by power and your conscience, your purity, Clara. What are you talking about? Will you leave this place with me? No, my general, I have to remain here forever. Otherwise, how am I to transform my bound? I'm not asking you to think it over. Such decisions are better left to the heart. Instead of nursing a single town for the remainder of your days, you could turn the entire country to the true faith. Our entire star-crossed, long-suffering land. No. I'm not up to a task like this. How could I ever be? Who is up to it if not you? Who will do away with the unjust rulers? Who will stop the war? Who will put an end to the suffering of the poor? He's spitting bars right now. The moment is right. It is at times like these, ridden with strife and turmoil, with no end to adversity in sight, that true power breaks free. My regiments can turn the tide, and I will not allow a lawless tyranny. Yes. You have a firm hand. Exactly, I'm glad you feel the same way I do. You will help me take power in this country. My army will be at your disposal. Make us a tool in his spear hand. I feel I must do what must be done here. If it is necessary that we are rejoined, we will be when the time is ripe. Interesting. I thought Block was a more... how do I phrase this? A more selfless character than he was originally portrayed as. Speaking to him as the Changeling, he seems to have been, you know, kind of desperate to help the town, desperate to overthrow the powers, both the powers that be and the rarely mentioned generals and, kings or whatever, prime ministers, whoever's in charge, El Presidente. He seems like he wants to actually make the place better for the people. But just in that last conversation we had there, it seems like he's suddenly more interested in just grabbing power for himself, but I don't know. Maybe he sees that as a necessary thing to do in order to achieve his goals or whatever.
My eyes look just like buttons, don't they?
I bow to thee, mistress of the earth. Don't talk like that, mother, as if I were a stranger to you. Ah, fuck.
I'm afraid I'm of little use now.
For as long as you're alive, you'll remain the mistress. It's I who bow to you. Heed my final advice, dear daughter, be smart. Don't repeat my mistakes. You will not be alone here. Maria is ascending to the fullness of her powers right now at the same time as you, whilst Capella, the tardy one, will take a few more years to awaken. Do you understand what this means? No, not quite. What? A period of your antagonism with Maria is beginning. Along what lines will it be? Which of you will be the good one and which one wicked? Will it be up to the Canes once again to determine the meaning of good and evil? How are you to take the good path if Maria doesn't choose the evil one? Why divide everything into good and evil right away? Could that have been your mistake? Our mistake? That was what I thought when I chose my own dark path. I thought the conflict was not between good and evil, and neither good nor evil existed. Well, that wasn't true. For it is the nature of humans to translate even a dichotomy of red and green into the language of good battling evil. We are doomed to make choices. No, Mother, that's not what the ongoing battle is about. Trust me, good and evil do not and will not exist today, even if the town is laid waste to. And that's true. That's true. I don't think there is any fundamentally evil characters in this game. I think the closest is probably, if I was to name one, probably Big Vlad is probably the closest character to just being evil. But even he, I feel like, has his family's interests at heart and stuff. He makes some sort of pretty grim decisions, but
If there's enough people like me, the town will stay the same. We'll surrender ourselves to Clara, unregretted. A rotten life belongs to the new mistress.
oh, thank you. I bow to thee, Mistress of the Earth. I'm not yet sure I want to accept that title. A mistress is not a title. Once you have crossed a certain line, you'll become the person everything hinges upon. How will you use this gift is a different matter, but you are no longer in a position to refuse it. So what disposition are you going to make of our town? Do you have any parting advice to give me? You're truly a saint, or could my reason be so clouded? Let's try this entire sentence again, shall we? You're truly a saint, or could my reason be so clouded with grief that I failed to hear the sarcasm in your voice? No, I wouldn't want to think so. Do you really want to hear a few behests from me? Yes, I'll do what you weren't able to, Father. After all, the adverse fortunes that marred your brief tenure as ruler were quite extraordinary. Then I will be concise. First, find something among the Canes or the Olgimpskis on whom you could rely on as yourself. Let them preside over the Bull Project. Let them send reports to the capital. Metropolitan bureaucrats are the greatest menace. They doze off when the freight trains arrive on schedule, but wake up the moment something goes wrong. Why is that a threat for us? They will not let us build our life the way it was intended. The brittle magic of our community will be trampled underfoot. Our erstwhile blissful existence will be irrevocably gone. Everything will be completely different. New people will arrive and the deadening power of the state will lay its own law here. Do not let that happen, as we didn't let it happen before. Are bureaucrats that easy to mislead? Of course, damn it. We've been misleading them. We've always been misleading them. Our great advantage is that they don't take us seriously. As far as they're concerned, we are a factory and a railway junction. Beyond that, they know nothing. See, even the Inquisitor hasn't learned everything. Well, that one's a hopeless fool. Of course, should an inspector arrive, take them to the town hall at once, say that the abattoir is out of operation, and quarantine the termitary, whatever is going on inside it. If they don't want to take a stroll around town, take them to the Chine and the Polyhedron. Tell them it's a temporary obelisk, a fairground attraction. That's not misleading at all. It's precisely that. All fucking town's a fairground attraction as far as I'm concerned. Not a damn thing's real around here. I'm assuming it's only going to be my bound to have quite so many words to say to me. I'll stop in on Peter Stammerton just to check that, but he's probably the worst person I could be stopping in on because it takes about 25 minutes to go up the stairs to see him, but never mind, we've committed now. Yeah, just on the off chance that other people want to have a word with me too, I'll give them the opportunity.
Drink with me.
I would have no future if not for you. The cause that I serve could fail without me. Thank you. So what kind of future is destined for you? The town will be rebuilt. We will transfer it to the other side of the river. The land is clean there, and nobody will disturb us. The polyhedron will become the foundation of a new settlement, just like the abattoir had become one for the doomed settlement. And a new era will set in. I'm afraid this time will never come. We are too few now. I won't succeed by myself, of course, but every person counts. Do you know how many of us have survived? My mission here is not yet complete. There will be enough of you. Okay, it does seem like other people have a few words to say to me as well, mostly about their belief about what's going to happen, which isn't going to be what's going to happen, because, spoilers, I'm going to pick my own ending here. I'm not going to let the Bachelor or Haruspex have their way and nuke half the fucking town. I mean, obviously I have spoken previously about the upsides and downsides to everyone's particular desires in this scenario, but I just haven't seen Clara's ending, so that's the one we're going to go with. It's that simple, honestly. Whether that would be the ending I would necessarily pick for myself if you know, I was in this position, that's another matter entirely, but here, give Sticky a schmowder. Want a word. That leaves me with 4, right? Yeah. Hopefully that's going to be enough. We'll find out.
It's like someone's pulling my strings.
If you didn't take care of me, who would breathe life into our town again? I will have so many things to do in 5 or 10 years. Thank you. Thank you. You think this town is still able to take a new lease of life? Definitely. It won't be easy, of course, but life has to be fought for, otherwise it's not real. Do not tear off the umbilical cord that has been feeding all of us since the beginning of time. These things are already going extinct almost everywhere. Indeed. At least it's still alive here. You still do remember your origins. At the note of optimism from Sticky, he's probably the most optimistic character in the game, honestly. Obviously, he's like one of the younger children. I think only Murky and Tyre are younger than him. But he's yeah, he's relentlessly optimistic. He always has interesting tidbits of information and stuff throughout the game, particularly in the other 2 campaigns, not so much for the Changeling, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to see Foreman O'Yoon or Tyre, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to attempt to have a little chin wag with him. Foreman O'Yoon, probably not. Tyre, maybe. Tyre, maybe. Don't know if this is necessarily the most productive use of my time, but I'm just intrigued as to what all the characters have to say on their final days. I never really did this in the other 2 campaigns, so... Oh? Well, touche. Wasn't expecting to be able to get in here. Going to be a bit of a walk, probably going to be the next sort of 5 minutes of the video dedicated just to speaking to Foreman O'Yoon, but fuck it, here we are. This is what we're doing now. Yeah, when I said at the beginning that this might be the final video, I don't think it actually will be. I think the next one will be, which I think is going to be video 30, unless I'm mistaken, which is a very nice round number to end things on, I must say. Again, little note of optimism sprinkled in there. The idea that, you know, I'm not going to need to go farm any more schmouders or anything. I'm sure 4 will be fine. I don't remember seeing that many sick people. As I say, I knew Sticky and Peter Stammerton were sick, but I've dealt with them now. Spoke with Aspity and Grief and Notkin all recently, and they've all been fine. I didn't see any of the Canes sick. Ava possibly, Murky possibly, Vlad the Younger possibly. I've not been round their ways for a while, honestly, so there's a possibility there that those 3 could all need schmoudering up. And then of course it has just hit day 12, which means someone could or in fact probably have got sick today. But beyond that, I think we'll be fine.
I'm a servant. I was broken by will.
I bow to you, Mistress of the Earth. And you, Foreman O'Yoon. Why have you crossed my path? It's no coincidence, I know, and I definitely didn't come massively out of my way to see you. I'm a monster, mistress, a chimera. You were right when you called such human-like double-natured beings demons. It is good that you'll destroy me with your magic hands. The evil I stand for will go down with me. It's unnatural to be double-natured. Your grandfather was a bull, wasn't he? True. You can see for yourself that in my bloodline must be terminated. Evil channels through me as it does through your counterparts. Someone dark has been stirring behind their backs before you came along and took charge. Now that Dark Souls is no longer with them. It's the Dark Souls of Dark Souls references, and you ought to drive them out. Don't let them loose. Have no fear. I won't. His grandfather was a bull. It brings up some slightly disturbing imagery. We're not going to ponder on too hard. I thought bulls were meant to be sacred though, right? That's what I'm not getting. He's going on about it means he's got a dark bloodline or whatever, but the Aurochs had like the magical blood that Artemy was using to create his vaccines and stuff. Plus, like, the Great Bodo or whatever, the god that they worship, the ground itself is like represented by a bull. I thought bulls were sort of the spiritual icon of this town, so why is he now saying they're evil? Is it sort of like an out with the old, in with the new sort of thing? Is he sort of repenting his previous religion and is sort of saying that, you know, we need to come up with something new in order to save the town, to move forward? I don't know. This whole aspect of it, the whole butchers and worms and the people who know the ways and all that, the stepchildren, all that, as I say, more spiritual elements of this game are the bits that I've been struggling with more than the sort of surface level politicky stuff. That stuff I get, but once it gets into the sort of the religious elements, it does start to lose me a little bit. And this is after playing the game for over 100 hours as well, so I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm just dumb, but I feel like definitely a lot to unravel in this game. I have to be really paying attention, and I mean really paying attention, in order to fully understand what's going on without the help of a fucking video essay or something. Well, speaking of which, I can finally watch the video essay on this that I've had saved in my watch later section for God knows how long. Gonna look forward to that. Might explain a few things.
I see everything.
If you didn't take care of me, you would breathe life into our town again. Oh, hang on. Okay, so all the children are going to say that, are they? Is that going to be a thing? Because that was exactly the same as what Sticky said. I want to see one of Dankovsky's other bound. See if they say the same thing Peter said. I'm going to have to visit everyone anyway to make sure they're not sick, but like, if I know I don't have to actually talk to them because they're just going to parrot each other's sentences, then it's going to make life a little bit easier. Who do we want to visit next? Anna Angel, maybe? I might just go straight down to Asperty and Grace. No, that's stupid. We'll do Andre and Anna. Probably haven't made the most direct pathways between place to place, but I'm doing my best, goddammit. This town is still a little bit of a maze, you know. I know my way around it, but being able to intuit the shortest routes is still takes a little bit of more foreplanning than I usually put into basically anything. Which I think explains a lot about me. It's textbook Joe definition, that is. Yeah, we just cut straight through here, I think, and then Ed Southerly. Speak to Andre, speak to Anna, speak to Aspity, speak to Grace. Then hit the lower half of the middle section, and then finally over to the few people on the left section. Oh, Murky's gonna be a... Why are you sick? I guess you got sick today, did you? Hey, Andre, you get sick today? I'll fix you up good and proper. Here, eat this. It's good for you. I swear. I promise it's the healthy option. Got anything cool to add?
If we're in the majority, the fragile poly...
Yeah. Yeah, they're all going to say the same. Okay, cool. That's fine. That's fine. I feel like in the other two characters... I know, I definitely did a tour of the children, I think, in the Harrispex's campaign. Definitely spoke to all of them. I don't know if I spoke to all of Dan Koski's found, but never mind, they're the least interesting characters anyway.
Life is hard.
I bow to thee, Mistress of the Earth. Look at me, Anna. You're afraid, aren't you? Look at me, Clara. Why did I chance across your path? What do you think? Could it be that I could sing an ode to fear and give you a vivid example of what that leads to? Would you say that's why you've ended up among the wicked? Of course it is. You've understood everything already. What does the caravan have to do with it? A children's bogeyman, one of those silly stories they tell each other after dark. Maybe it never existed. Maybe I was never with the caravan. Take a look at me. How could I possibly have been a singer? So you're a liar too. I am an embodiment of fear. I live in a world that's made of fear entirely. I may not have become a singer, but I've become the voice of fear. And fear has an unpleasant voice, shrill, whiny, capricious, and utterly unmusical. So if you're like that, why did our paths cross? Probably to prevent you from becoming like me. A voice, an entrancing voice, sweet as a dream and beckoning, is what you and I have in common. You understand? That's where we intersect, not the caravan, not at all. Forget the caravan. You, on the other hand, won't stop thinking about it. You're hiding something, Anna. You're still hiding something. What is this caravan? How did it get here? Ask the powers that be. You paid them a visit already, haven't you? They'll tell you what the plague is for and what the caravan is for. It's their games. Fair enough. Fair enough, which means it's not all that important in the end. So is it going to hurt a lot? When is my turn? Would you like to be the first or the last? Last, or not? I suppose it's better to get it over with at once. No, wait. I'll tell you later, alright? Better still just sneak in unnoticed sometime, will you? Maybe it's better if we do it that way. Maybe. I'll come after you forget about this. This isn't the exit. Whoopsie. She's an interesting character, our Anna. She really is. All that about the powers that be knowing what the caravan is. Yeah, I guess she wasn't actually telling me to ask the powers that be there. She was just explaining that, like, it's all meaningless. It was all just a narrative contrivance more than anything. Just part of the games of the powers that be, or whatever. Yeah, maybe the caravan never did exist, or maybe nothing ever existed, or maybe we all always existed. It's hard to say at this point. And that's kind of the whole point of the game, on some level. That nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters to me. This definitely isn't the shortest way, but this is the way I'm going. Just take it in the sights. See you in the town one last time. Got plenty of time. It's only 4 AM. Well over 12 hours to finish our rounds. I think we do get letters to speak to both the Bachelor and the Harrispex before this is through, but I'm sure we can squeeze that into our busy schedule as well. Good to see Asperty isn't sick. Getting a little bit wary that I only have 3 Schmauder left at this point, but so far I think we should be okay still. Hopefully.
There's a hole under my heart.
I bow to you, Mistress of the Earth. Well, sister, it's time to say our farewells. So it is. Can't say I'm not glad. Tell me, would you like to trade places with me? Oh yes. I wanted it to be me. Me striding across the town in triumph, me going from house to house, carrying them on my black wings, me choosing who deserves retribution. An enviable role, that. But look at what I've become instead. A slave to the kin, a household familiar, a keeper of relics. That's not true. I'm not like that. I chose a different fate for myself. Oh, come on. What's done is done. It's not like one could choose one's fate retroactively or change that part of it which has already been fulfilled. One could. I can. That's what these things called miracles are about. Asperty is quite possibly the biggest enigma in this game. Quite possibly. Out of all the characters, she's the one who just doesn't give you anything, man. She doesn't give you shit. Like, she answers your questions, but the questions just sort of bring up more questions, you know? Like, there's never anything firm to grasp onto. But it's evident that she was, like, riling up the worms and trying to make the people in the termitary just an issue. Uh-oh. This is unfortunate. 2 Schmauder left. It's gonna be a close one, man. We've only done a third of the town. We have done a third of the town, yeah. Well, and these 3 as well, but we still got quite a bit of ground left to cover, unfortunately. Quite a bit of ground left to cover. Forgot how many people were in the lower half of the middle section, to be honest. We'll be fine. Have faith. That's another thing this game's really about, isn't it? Faith. Believing in miracles to a degree. And my miracle, right here and now, is going to be that I don't run out of Schmauder before the day's up. I mean, I'll run out of Schmauder. Happy to run out of Schmauder, but as long as the last Schmauder I use cures the last person. As long as I'm not leaving anyone sick. No man left behind, especially when I'm about to sacrifice 7 of them. We're not talking about the several thousand people who have died who are not bound because they don't count for shit, it turns out. This game's always been very much about, you know, caring for the elite and ignoring the basic citizenry. There's been a few characters who have brought that up. There's been a few characters who have made a point of saying that. And it's well worth mentioning that, like, it really is textbook like Kafkaism, where it's all about the red tape of the people in charge and it means nothing ever gets done for the little people, you know?
If we, the outcast children, live, the town will grow to be a town of men. Capella will entrust us with it. We're the future of this land.
Don't know why I spoke to him, really. I knew exactly what he was going to say. I was really just here to check if he was sick, and by some miracle, he isn't. One less person to worry about. Next up, Monsieur Grief. Grief will be fine. How could Grief possibly get sick? He just sits in his little hideout with his knifey friends all day. Like, he doesn't go outside. He never goes outside. How's he going to get sick? It's like me getting COVID. Just can't happen. Just can't happen. Yeah, grief's fine. Let's have a word with him, though.
A part off sent to the well is broken at last.
I bow to thee, mistress of the earth. Not out of fear, I hope. Out of love, little tot. Pure love, all white and crunchy and like freshly starched linen and all. Come on, think about it. Who do I got to go fearing? No one. For as you've most correctly guessed, I ain't feared barley too. And the fear, you'd ask? Just for show. Although I do fear myself, I suppose. Have you really changed so much? And for this alone, these 12 days have been worth living. Back then, you see, you figured out the sheer scale of my nastiness, just how much of a villain I was, didn't you? And then you just froze in place, and my heart sank, and I thought, so much for ever being forgiven. As a little tot who's gonna condemn me, but you didn't. You forgave me, and I was never the same again. I'd be happy to give my life for you now. I swear to God on my own accord. Happy? Honestly? You won't find a more faithful servant from now on, no ma'am, for I have repented. All my cutthroats would die for you too. Then why don't they keep trying to kill me in the street? No, I know that's Barley's men, you don't have to tell me. What is your command, mistress? My life for you. Me, coming like Simon, could I even have imagined? But even the old man could never have become someone like you. Please, stop talking like that. Hey, who are you? Wait. It would be great if you just turned around and was like, hey, who are you to say that to me? After talking me up so much. Hey, who are we when you come to think about it? What are we? A bunch of walking corpses we are, condemned to death the moment we're born. A bunch of dolls in the hands of the powers that be. Eh? And you too. You're the real humans. But he, Simon, was a proud man, you see. 'Twas for our sake that he made himself into what he was. And you, holy dove, you have surpassed him. For our sake as well. Have I really? We don't know that yet. Indeed we don't. Look, my reputation's ticking down. You could all hate me pretty soon. Reuben, you were alive yesterday, which was some fucking miracle as far as I'm concerned, because I'm pretty certain he dies in both other campaigns. Still alive today, though. Not sick or nothing. Congratulations, Reuben, you made it to the end.
What?
What? I'm surprised too, mate. I bow to thee, mistress of the earth. Tell me, what's it going to be like when, the time comes? Do you want the exact details? I'm going to have to settle down here, aren't I? Block is inviting you to come along. He'd like to take you away with his army, right? That's not the issue. But you can be in both places at once, can't you? Such is your nature. You'll stay here with us forever, and at the same time you'll go to war, alongside Block and his army. Your nature could easily allow there to be two of you. You're talking about spiritual grace, right? Whereas I'm talking about myself. Well then, this is how I see it. We will be vigilant at all times. As soon as there's a new outbreak somewhere, we will board up that house at once, or that district if need be. Thankfully it can be done, given the peculiar town planning here. My master did that 5 years ago. You will immediately pick someone from among your bound and... What if they refuse to become a donor? They won't. Once they've given consent, they'll stay true to their word, or else our being bound wouldn't amount to nothing. Do you think all I have to do is just lay my hands on them once and it will be done? I don't think once will be enough, and you'll have to do it in public to avoid rumours and speculations. At any rate, I'll make the extracts and see what happens. We'll try this and that. Yeah, so I definitely couldn't have sacrificed Reuben, because he has to make the fucking thing. Alright, Stark. I've understood your plan. We're gonna have to be the last in that chain. Interesting that he seems to think we just have a permanent solution now. I mean, the plague hasn't gone. I mean, technically it has. There's no plague today, but there's 9 bound. Each makes what, 150 to 500 doses? Is that what was estimated? That's not gonna keep the entire city safe forever. If the plague keeps coming back, we could very easily be fucked. Unless more bound start springing up, I suppose. I don't know how you become a bound, really. There's only a small 12-day snippet in the life, after all, so... Capella's fine. Big Vlad is fine. Good, good, good. Everyone doing well here. I have to head up to the theatre to check on Marky Mark. There are plague banners up, but I'm assuming they're just the ones from yesterday. Everyone evacuated the town and forgot to take them down. There's no actual plague here. There's nothing here. Zero threats anymore, aside from my reputation tanking so low that I off myself, I guess. Yeah, I think we're probably fine at this point. Everything's probably fine.
Whatever you do, you'll have to sacrifice something.
Destruction is inevitable. There's no miraculous way out.
So that's what their thought process is, see? There was nothing to hope for from the start. Each of them should simply fulfill their purpose. At least, we'll see which one works best.
Each of them wants to save that which is dear to them. Perhaps they could get along?
Out of the question. The meeting chamber is tight, with the General sitting at one side of the table and the Inquisitor sitting at the other. Only one of them will decide. The others will die.
General sitting at one end, and the Inquisitor at the other. Interesting that Clara isn't included at the table. Which is fitting, considering most people have just disregarded her plan offhand, but it does seem like we've managed to swing it people in favour, you know? Obviously we've got the Bound on side, we've got the General willing to vouch for it now, so...
If we're in the majority, the fragile...
I don't need to talk to him, he's not my Bound. He's a weirdo, but he's not one of my weirdos. I assume he can't even get sick, because then the theatre would close and you wouldn't be able to do the theatre stuff. Right? Like, it's a public building. I assume he's in the same sort of boat as Block and Aglaya. That they just don't get sick. Too powerful. Far too powerful a being to be stopped is Mark Immortel. He is immortal after all. That's how you pronounce that word. Just Vlad the Younger and Murky to check around here now. Neither of them again are my Bound, so who the fuck cares what they have to say on the matter? Just need to make sure they're alive. That's all that matters right now. Looks like young Vlad is fine. Just oh, you're over there. I thought he wasn't here for a second there. I'm used to him being on the right when I come in, but he was hiding behind his well. Yeah, Murky I kind of wanted to go to when I was by Knocking because it was closer, but I thought I'd loop up and check the old Gimpskis first because I didn't really have... It made more sense in my sort of... my flow that I'm working on here. My path of least resistance that I've generated. I definitely didn't just forget that she exists, don't worry about it. I think she, right? I'm not actually certain with Murky, I think it's a she. It's such a small child that, like, there's no, like, visible gender identity yet, you know what I mean? Just a very small creature that lives in a trailer. Oh, fuck. Is this my last Schmauder? Nope, got one more left, okay. I still believe we're fine then. I still believe we're fine. There's not too many people left to see after this. You good now, Murky? Yep, good to see. Okay, normally I'll be wrapping up around now, but I think I want to complete my rounds today. If the video goes a little bit long, then so be it. And then we can see the thrilling conclusion next time. Speak with the Bachelor, speak with the Harrisbecks, have our final chat and our final cutscene, and then anything else that may happen. Any wacky bonuses that we might encounter as a result of saving everyone. He says optimistically. I need to keep adding that in parenthesis every time I talk about succeeding this, because we still don't know for sure if I have or not. It'd be a real kick in the nuts if two of the Canes are sick right at the end, wouldn't it? I assume Khan can't get sick as well. He's another one who I believe is in like a bubble of invulnerability. Because again, that would be shutting down the polyhedron and prevent access to a bunch of important stuff, so... Plus, you know, there's the whole sort of lore aspect of the fact that the kids in the polyhedron just don't get sick, so... They're safe in there. Protected. I don't know if, because the Dogheads are like Khan's dudes, right, that he sends out, and like I've spoken to them before, and they've been like, oh, once we're out, we can't go back in because we might be infected and everything. So I don't know if the Doghead masks that they wear are like meant to be like preventative in some way, protective, like sort of a gas mask sort of thing, or if it's just a fun accessory that they like. Hard to say, really. I don't really know what the whole Doghead thing is about, but they're cool little characters. I like them. I like what they stand for. Panicked there. Don't know why, but this bit here, this little knobble here, from a distance, it's like a different colour and had like a pointy bit at the top. I thought it was a beaked mask. But no, Ava's fine. She didn't kill herself. Look. Okay, maybe she did, but the fact remains that she didn't get plagued, and I'm gonna still call that a victory. She didn't get sick under my watch. She just threw herself off a building. I missed that completely, didn't I? No, that did happen. That did happen. I remember that now. I recall that was a thing that I did get remotely involved in. Another sickie over there. Got another sickie. Have I spoken to all my bound already? Who am I bound? I feel like I've forgotten someone. Reef, Rubin, Aspati, Yulia, Anna, Sabarovs, Lara, and the foreman. Yeah. I guess they're just all over that side of town. Maria, you better not be fucking sick, because if you are, I am going to be salty about it. Here you go. Give him the schmauder. You good now, Georgi? Having a fun time? Living life to the max? Min-maxing your life experience, yeah? Feel fit enough to go bungee jumping and skydiving and extreme snowboarding? Just because you're like 70 doesn't mean you're past your prime. Don't worry about it. Do what you want, mate. Do what you want. Oh, thank fuck. I really expected her to be infected, just to spite me. Why do all the women have broken mirrors in their house, by the way? I'm sure there's a reason for that.
My path.
I noticed it in Anna Angel's house as well, and was like, hang on, Maria's got these. I don't know if that is all the women. There's several other women who probably don't have broken mirrors, but it's weird that there's two. It's weird that it happened twice. I guess just for the sake of 100% certainty, I will take a quick spin up to the top of the polyhedron. Just in case. Just in case. I want to make sure I get this ending, right? I want to make sure I successfully saved everyone. Oh. Little bit concerned that maybe people just got infected then. Day 12, in which it becomes possible to do the impossible. Wee little bit concerned that I did all that before the day officially ticked over. I think I confirmed this at the end of the Bachelor's campaign, that no one gets sick at 7, everyone gets sick at midnight. I think I confirmed that. Because Andre wasn't sick on day 11, right? And he was sick today. So that means he must have got sick at midnight, right? Right? I don't have to walk around the whole town. Please tell me I don't have to walk around the whole town again to confirm this. I might Google it to confirm it between videos. I think that seems like the best bet. I might have to double check that with Google, just to make my own life easier. Just a smidge easier. Just a little tiny ounce easier for old Joe, you know? We got a letter, but we're not going to read that now. What we're going to do now is go... Yeah, Khan looks fine. And we're going to save here. Thanks for watching. Grand finale next time. I'll see you.